Here is what I hope to do in 2022. I hope that I teach you that Mr. Rogers was right. He might seem hokey to some people, but that is the way that you actually accomplish things in the world around you. Having empathy for others is one of the best ways for you to understand how they're feeling and as well to get them to follow along with what you are actually doing. I hope that you actually take the first step, whatever that is, and you look at it, and I hope you think that it is rinky-dinky, and I hope that you think it is terrible, but you do it anyways. It doesn't matter what you're feeling, but you do it anyways. I hope that you realize that nothing in this world, whether it being a skyscraper, whether it being the pyramids, whatever you're looking at, nothing started that way. It started as some little tiny thing, some little tiny thought that somebody had, and they started with it, and it looked hokey, and everybody laughed at that person when they had that idea, but they did it anyways. I hope that you finally realize you finally realize that you're not a failure. You finally feel like you actually should feel, or how everybody else looks at you. I hope you realize that you are in a moment, a time that you should be very fortunate about. And you're in a situation, no matter what your situation is, that you can always do something to change that. And I hope that you look at what you are doing right now and think that it is a special moment. That even though that things are tough, that even though that there's crap going on around you, that A, you can change it if you really want to. You just simply have to start. And B, that there is a lot of beauty and a lot of things that are really good if you look at those things. I hope you realize that what you're doing, whatever you're doing, whether you're a garbage person, whether you are the CEO of a large multinational corporation, whether you are a PhD student, a graduate student, and you look at that and you think that what you're doing actually truly matters in this world. And I hope that I convince you that you reflect on that and you think that, hey, you know what? This little wee tiny problem that I'm working on actually is a good thing. I hope that you realize when you make these positive changes, it's not me that's doing it. It's you that's actually taking that first step. And I hope you take charge of what you're doing. I hope you realize that there is a lot of crap in this world, but you can change it by simply smiling and looking at it and saying, hey, I don't have to live like that. Everybody else might live like that, but I don't have to. I hope you realize that there is no gaming that's ever going to get you to the next stage. All of that gaming stuff, yes, it works, and all of that. But I hope you realize that what matters is when you're old and crusty. And when you're old and crusty, you look around and somebody says, I actually really like that person. They didn't feel like they were skeevy or skizzy. They didn't feel like they were always trying to do something and do something that felt yucky to me. I wanted to be around that person. I hope that you look around and you think how amazing life actually is, and you appreciate the little tiny moments that you have. I hope that today, before 2022, before 2022, you actually look at the thing that you want to change and you start working on that thing. It's absolutely amazing when you see somebody do that and they actually take a little bit of charge in their life and they think that hey, I'm imperfect, I'm a complete disaster, but I do it anyways. And when I do it anyways, that little wee tiny thing, it's a positive change that I really needed. And that little tiny positive change turns into something that's amazing in the future. But right now, I want you to focus on that little tiny, tiny positive change, whatever that is, whether it's smiling a little bit more today, whether it is going for a walk a little bit more today, whether it is just trying to appreciate yourself a little bit and realizing you're not a failure. Thinking about that, how amazing you actually are and fortunate you actually are. That's what I hope for 2022. I know none of these things are some sort of metric or something of this is how successful I'm going to be, but hey, if I get one person to think like this, one person in the entire year, and I spend all of my time doing this and talking to you, and I make that one person makes that little tiny change in their life, that's pretty cool. And I'll be happy with that. So with that, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care. And have an amazing 2022. I think this is going to be our year. I think we're going to look around and we're going to make a lot of great changes. And they're all going to be little tiny things. Remember that. Little tiny things. It's all that matters. All right. Bye-bye.